I would like to pose this question to the executive director about the motive that has made you people come together, and what do you plan to achieve in the coming future?
Thank you. We were actually founded 23 years ago, in 1995. And part of the motivation was that you're probably familiar with the Beijing conference. That was a women conference in China. And the people who were there were talking about poor women, but they were not poor women. The women who were in that conference were actually elite women. And the founder of the organization said that if I go back to my country, I'm going to rally all the grassroots women from the informal settlement and rural areas together so that they can get a voice of their own and they can speak about their own development, so that people are not speaking on their own behalf. And so that is the motive why we were formed. Our purpose is to raise the profile and the visibility of grassroots women in development spaces, both at local level, at national level, and at international level. Today, she's sitting in the International Advisory Board of the UN Habitat. That's actually where we came from. There's a big conference in Gigiri. She sits in the board of the NAWASCO, which is Nanyuki Water and Sewerage Company. So that's the kind of the work we do, is to raise the profile and the visibility of grassroots women as able agents who can chart their own development without people speaking on their own behalf.
All right. And just to clearly define for us the grassroots women and how the leadership works, maybe you can give us a journey. Either Winrose, and Teresia. Give us a journey of how where you came from to end up sitting in a meeting with in the UN, the United Nations. That's a very big deal. So how did you get there?
Thank you very much for your question. Let me say I'm one of the beneficiaries of women empowerment, because before, sometimes back maybe 20,000s, I was just a housewife with children, but I was not thinking beyond my husband bringing something on the table. So by the time I met with Growth Kenya, that is back in 2012, that is where we joined, our group joined Growth Kenya. They started building capacity of us. By then I was a hawker, so I was moving loud with a paper bag to sell ulalas, these second-hand clothes, so that I can be able to support my family. So by the time I met Growth Kenya, they started empowering. We had a project on public land mapping, which was very difficult for women to understand about women land rights, to understand the constitution, the policies about land. It was very hard. But thank God I had gone to school, although I was still a grassroots, because after I left school, I never went somewhere else.
You never took it further.
So I went to the kitchen, I started cooking. So I forgot everything I knew about education. But by the time they started creating capacity on us, I got inspired to understand more what they want us to do, or what they want the grassroots to intervene in about the land. And the land is a very critical thing within our society. So it is very hard to get a woman talking about the land, even those who are before us. So I got inspired, and I started, yes, I should understand about the constitution and the land policy, how it works. So by then, we started a project on public land mapping in our land, in our area. So when we were doing the mapping, I realized that women have the capacity to do even what the men are doing. So I took the initiative, and I took it seriously in a way. I wanted to understand each and every step. So by then, no other people had done that project. So we started feedbacking the community, the stakeholders. So we created a linkage between the grassroots women, the leaders, political leaders. And so even them, they started involving us in the day-to-day activities. So by the time we started doing the presentations of what we have done, even the other land actors inspired to work with the grassroots women, because whenever we were working together, they were able to connect from the grassroots level to the upper level. So those who are leaders, they started working with the grassroots women. And that is how I started coming up, talking with, going to do presentation to the National Land Commission, the MPs, the DCCs. So all of them started seeing even the grassroots women can be able to work about it. And this project is the one which made me to be in the board of the GLTN right now on LAD lights, the securing of Raditinua. Because with the project we had showed that even women have understood the importance of, although we were working with public RAD, the importance of public RAD, how we should secure the public RAD, what is the benefit are we going to get, because without public RAD we can never access the basic services.
Yeah.
So women realized if we safeguard the public RAD to avoid the grabbings, we will be able to achieve more benefits, like now the medical services, education,
Schools, yes.
the market. We are the majority there. If we go to the school meeting, you'll find many women. And because we are grassroots women, very few would make it to take their children to the public school. Private school. So we have to secure the public RAD so that we can be able to get to public schools, public hospitals, where we can access the services.
And which is a very key thing. Before we give out our sentiments, maybe, Rose?
Yes.
Tell us about now your experience.
My journey is very interesting. I am the firstborn in my family, and it happened at a time when because I'm the firstborn, my family was at a very low level, so I didn't finish school. So I came back to the community. I started doing community work, and I started doing a community work on issues of HIV and AIDS. And within the community, I met other 3 women with the same idea, working on the same issue. So we combined our idea and we started a small group. We did home-based care in my community, and in 1998, we met Groots Kenya, who came on board and started supporting now my small group. In the year 2003, my group now formally registered as a self-help group in the community, still working on issues of HIV and AIDS. By then, issues of HIV and AIDS were very critical in my community where I come from. I come from a slum area, and in Nanyuki, and in Nanyuki, you know, Nanyuki is in the center of the 6 military barracks, one of them being the British Army training camp. So issues of HIV in Nanyuki were at that time were very critical. So when Groots Kenya came on board, they started training us on how to be to provide home-based care services now on a high level thing, like not like what we were doing before. So with those trainings, we were able to mobilize more other community members to come together to champion for the health issues in my community. Groots Kenya trained us on how to demand our rights from the service delivery institution, like from the local authority, from the provincial administrators. Those are the chiefs at the community level. And through those processes, I went on getting empowered. And in the year 2005, I was inspired to lead my community as a councillor. So because most of the things that we are championing for, I realized it is because we lack women in decision making.